again, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about the unfashionable words of fascism and Nazism, specifically why these words are rejected by the American people. One of the conflicts that I have had with several people around nationalism is whether or not to talk about certain factions of political power of the warring states in the 1930s and 40s. I think that the main reason why that it is foolish to use the word National Socialism or fascism in America is because, as a people, it's just not for us. Let me qualify that. Even though you can draw many similarities between what's going on at a state level in early America as what was going on with the 1930s Germans, the words National Socialism, fascism, and of course, Nazis has become so poisoned that not only are you going to chase away and miss most people that you would otherwise reach with good ideas about unity, building community, caring about family, caring about your own people, I think that the unifying thread of National Socialism and fascism just doesn't fit for the American people. Let me tell you why. The American people are notably different. The Anglosphere specifically is different from the rest of Europe. But in America, for about 200 years, you had people building this country who were willing to take a gamble. Adventurers, warriors, explorers, people who didn't want to have centralized unity under a flag or a banner or a country of kings and queens. They wanted to specifically move away from that kind of thing. And they wanted to come here to build a new life, to test their mettle, to carve out a piece of the wilderness for themselves. And then later on, as America grew, they wanted to compete in an open market of ideas and business and try to make something of themselves. They wanted to explore the West. They wanted gold. They wanted to have their own space, to have their religion. And for a couple of centuries, until everything went tits up in the 1900s, that pretty much held true. So all of the quote-unquote real Americans here are from a stock of people that are not like European countries. They're just not. And I know that we don't like the word melting pot, but the hodgepodge of different Europeans that made America what it is today are heavily from the Anglosphere. And as a people, we come from stock of European folks who don't want centralized authority, and who, for lack of a better term, want freedom to do whatever the hell they want. Now, of course, you all know that I have problems with a lot of that, but the reasons why I think that the words fascism, National Socialism, and Nazism are not going to sell to American people at large is because it's the wrong market. National Socialism, Nazism, and fascism, they might catch on in Spain, Italy, Germany, other places in Europe, but I don't think you're going to get very far with those words in America. Despite any ideology or behavior or value that you might have as an organization, as a speaker, I think that if you marry yourself to words like neo-Nazi, fascism, like a lot of the third positionists and some of the active groups in America that are doing white positive things, such as building groups that do charity work or actively fight against the ANCOMs, BLM, Antifa, that kind of thing, I understand why a person like that might want to wed themselves to the word neo-Nazi or fascist. Here in America, we're just not the right market for that. Maybe it'll catch on other places. I have my doubts about that. But especially here in America, I think you're just selling it to the wrong market if you package what you have to share under the banner of National Socialism, Nazism, neo-Nazism, or fascism. Maybe there are some third positionist guys that agree with me about that word being completely unpalatable because of how the well's been poisoned here in America after the long march through the institutions. So, regardless of what you might think about the Austrian painter or Giovanni Gentile or the things that they had to put together and say in the 30s and 40s, even if you think they have a lot of good ideas and you think that it would be good in America to follow a path like that, I think you have to agree with me on one thing. If a word is so completely destroyed and poisoned that the vast majority of all people, even if they would agree with your ideas, will recoil at the sound of those words or the iconography that goes along with those words, even if you're doing good deeds, even if you do have love in your heart for your people and your message is about unity, strength, and positivity, why use those words? Why? Those words are gone. Those words have been demonized for generations. If you want to create a militia group, or an activist group, or a compound, or anything else, even a charity, Why would you want to willingly use words that have been so vilified in our parlance and our language that they will turn away 99% of people on its own? And a lot of people that would be sympathetic to what you want to do, whether it be charity or building a new activist group or even a political movement, why would you use language and iconography that you know is not only going to chase away the people in the market that you want to sell to, but is going to put you first in line to be put on government lists if push comes to shove? We've come to the end of my brief Yizz talk about why I think fascism and the words that go along with that are completely unfashionable. If you agree with me, let me know why in the comments, but especially if you don't agree with me, I'm more interested in that. So, thank you for listening to me again, and as always, keep heart and fight smart.